Hi guys, this is Steph with Dotting with Dragons. Welcome in. I'm glad to have you guys back, or welcome here if you're new. Today I thought that I would do a first for me, which is a sort of month in review for September. As I'm filming this, it is October 2nd. So I know what I've finished and the whips I have going into October. So specifically, these projects I have are my official finishes for Drills and Chills month 1. So if you don't know, Drills and Chills is a really fun community event put on by Katie at Diamonds and Washi and Lindsay at Emeralds and Fairy Lights. And I have been participating, this is my third year, and it's what really got me into diamond painting actually, and it's what got me into doing events. It was my very first event, and it was such a blast. So this year I'm also participating. So I've got my actual grand prize entry event canvas here. It needed to be licensed. It needed to be a new start. And so this is the image that I chose for that. This is by a canvas by Munimade called Embrace of the Pumpkin. It is a round canvas, and as you can see, it's very sparkly. I have not sealed it yet. I will seal it later. I do seal my round canvases. I loved working on this canvas. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got a ton of glows. I did do a little bit of recharting here on her nose. Originally, it was like this light lavender purple, and it was kind of like this color here was on her nose, and it gave like a really clownish kind of appearance, especially with like her eye makeup and then this up here. And if you know these characters, this is Sally and Zero from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So she isn't a clown, but you know, she's like a Frankenstein girl. So I couldn't with that because I have a thing. I do not like clowns. Used to be phobic, not anymore. I've worked really hard on that. So anyway, so this was an amazing canvas to work on. There were 56 colors. I think there was, oh my gosh, there were so many glow drills. Let's see, I think there was, there were at least 3 glow drills. There were shoe ABs. It worked up really quickly. Like this is all glow. This is all glow. We've got some glow in her eyes. We've got Zero's all glowy. Like this is all glow in him, and this is all glow. They work really well. So this is my official entry canvas. Now I was gonna choose a different canvas, but I got a lot of feedback that a lot of people were like, yeah, no, that's not fall. That's not Halloween. And so that was kind of disappointing, but I don't take that feedback too seriously. But my friend Carrie over at Leopard Leatherworks was like, hey, you got that canvas? I got that canvas. Like, let's kind of work on that together. That'd be fun. So I'm not sure where she's at with her version of this, but I'll link her channel in the description box below. But yeah, so this is Embrace of the Pumpkin by Munimade and Kikawa. Oh, and this is also a retired canvas. This artist no longer licenses with Munimade. I don't know of anywhere that she is licensed with, so yeah, I'm not sure. But I will definitely put links to any of the canvases and the products that you still can get, and I'll put a link to this shop, of course. But so that was my grand prize event. Sorry for the shakes. This was my other finish. I just finished this one. I just started this one. It was 10 days. This is called Skeleton Lovers by Make Market. And I added a little bit of enhancements. You really cannot tell so much, but this is like a Pixie 5200 that's also a glow drill. So that kind of like outlines here in the moon a little bit. It outlines a lot of the skeleton piece, but it's like it's not in their arms, it's only here. I should have done more with like the dark color. There was no 310 in this kit, you guys. None. It was crazy. There was no 310 in this kit. Yeah, I'm just double checking because I don't want to be a liar. Yeah, there was no 310 in this. I swear. I thought that this was going to be 310. But this was it 9? It was 939. Yeah, so like, what is that? Like a really, really dark blue. So yeah, so that was interesting. But this would have been really easy to add, like make it 310 and then add glow drills to the outlines of the bones. I kind of wish I had done that. This is from Michaels, like I said. It's a round drill. I haven't sealed it yet, but I will be. And this is just a really vibrant, fun piece to work on. This canvas and the last canvas had hardly any trash at all. So it was really cool to work on these because, especially this one, I alternated it with one of my whips. The original canvas I wanted to submit with Drills and Chills for my official entry, but I got poor feedback on it. It's called Soup Night by Jaded Gem Shop, and I will be showing you that afterwards. Okay, so those are some, smaller type canvases. And then I did some special projects. These are also from Michael's Make Market Halloween 2025 line. Oops, I did not seal this, and I already got a little drill. Just came off on my finger. I did not seal, no, I sealed this one. This one does have some glows, like the outline of the bottle, a lot of the purple in here, some of the green. So that's pretty cool on this one. And then this one I have not sealed yet. I did also finish some other Make Market stuff. Like I had a Headless Horseman square 16 by 20 inch canvas I finished, but that was prior to the event starting. So I'm not counting that. And then I also did these spooky cocktails from Make Market this year, and I did show how to seal those in a previous video on my channel. I will link that below. But again, that was prior to the event starting, so I'm not really including that in this month in review. So now I just want to make sure to put this drill somewhere I'm not going to lose it so I can stick it back on. So yeah, so I still have to seal this. There are no glows here, but these were two really cute, fun projects. They took me a few hours each to do. Yeah, and surprisingly, even though this one's like a lot of 310, a lot of gray, a lot of white, it was still a lot of fun to work on. I do have to say though, for some reason this one had a lot of slippery glue, and that was problematic because I don't know if you can tell here, but yeah, you can kind of see like in here, the training wheels for these circles are white. And you can see this here, and it's like on a light background. You're putting these dark drills, and so that's the only thing that's kind of like a bummer about this one. As you can see, if you don't exactly place the drills, they'll show through. But at a distance, I mean, I can't really tell. This one here, the glue wasn't like that. It wasn't slippery. So I have one more of these special project plaques. The bats one that I'm going to work on in October for Drills and Chills. So I'm going to see where that ends up. These are something a little bit different. So I had unboxed these on the channel. These were little mini paintings, actually, paint by numbers. And I just went through, I did them pretty quickly. They only took like a couple of days, and I probably need a couple more layers of some of the colors because most of them, and I should have like outlined this totally in black, but I thought the coverage was pretty darn good actually for these. And as you can see, okay, paint by numbers, very much like diamond paintings, they are best looked at from a distance. Okay, and then this is the eyeballs one. Now this one was a lot of fun. I did kind of have to do a little bit of my own detail around the eyes because they just kind of looked like blobs. So I took some lighter color and the darker color, and I kind of patched it around and sort of added that little white there and I didn't like put a huge glob of white. You can kind of see I kind of brushed it through or tapped it on. This is just a lot of fun. A lot of times as I was working on this, I thought some of these browns were going to actually be magenta, like this down here. It's clearly supposed to be like red, like some kind, maybe blood or something, but it's just kind of so that was kind of interesting. So the colors on these did not really render perfectly the way that they appeared in the guiding, I don't know what you call that. I'm looking for it right now. It's like these papers that come with the kits. This is Michael's Artist Loft, by the way. And so you can kind of see this is like what they're telling you it should look like, and then this is what it ended up as. So most of the colors are pretty good. It's pretty well rendered. I really enjoyed doing the plants down here, and this could definitely use like a second coat of paint, but I just kind of wanted to switch it up from, you know, one of my diamond paintings. The one in here that I was a little annoyed about is I totally forgot there was a little snake in this painting until I was looking at this, because I was going through painting this thinking like, what is this over here? This isn't supposed to have the plants. That's the other one. So I could go through and make him a little bit more distinct, but again, you look at these from a distance and I can definitely see it now that it's supposed to be a snake. But when you look at it close up, you know, you can still see he has a face, but it's kind of the details get a little lost in that. So I have considered maybe going back and adding a little bit more details, but these were pretty fun. I did install the permanent little, well, actually they're not permanent. You can pluck them apart, but I did install this, and I have been hanging these. So yeah, I've been hanging these on my wall. This has been really fun to work on. So, oh, and this is just my logbook page. Sorry, I forgot to say this. So this is how I do a paint by number logbook page. I do a lot of the same stuff as I do for my diamond painting examples, except there's a swatch guide. This came from a creator here on YouTube called MelanieB, and she used to have a store called MelanieB's Creative Supplies. I will link her channel below. If you are interested in trying paint by numbers, or if you already do a lot of paint by numbers and you are a paint by number enthusiast, go check her out, because she has amazing tricks and techniques, and she's been through a lot the last couple years, personal stuff. So she hasn't been like releasing as many videos lately, but as I understand, she's kind of getting back into it, so that's good. But she has a swatch guide. This is printed on like a canvas, and this is where I just put colors of all the, I just put little dabs of all the colors as I go, because it helps, because later if you're looking at this and you're like, man, I need another layer of this, what color was that? You go back to your paint pot, and this will just, because you know the numbers are all covered up now, and they do have guide papers, but I just would rather open up a pot of paint and put down what looks good to go there. So that's just a little diversification from my diamond paintings. And then as far as my whips going into October, I did have a couple other finishes that I do want to talk about in the month of September, but they were not Drills and Chills related canvases. So I'm just going to talk about those, kind of segue into that a little bit. Sorry, I have one completed canvas that is not Drills and Chills related, but it is complete. It is a beast. Like so many Yuumei canvases from Diamond Art Club, they are huge and colorful and beautiful, and there is so much blue. So, which I love blue, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the 939 in her pieces is a little overwhelming. So this is In Your Memory by Yuumei, and I'm going to kind of fold it up a little bit here, so you can kind of see, because it's such a big canvas. This one is still being made. It is not retired. This is like the bottom reflection in the water. So as you can see, like this is the moon reflected in some sort of pond. It is an absolutely stunning work of art. However, it is massive. So this, I started working on this back in May, and I had also, I'm sorry for the camera shakes, by the way, as I'm moving this around. I started this piece back in May. I had every intention of finishing it during the month of May, because it was Yuumei's birthday month, and the event put on by Nati, can't remember her channel, I will link it below. She's doing a whole Year with Yuumei event, and May with Yuumei was like one of the big months where they had like grand prizes, and like they really, like, it was a really special part of the event year because of Yuumei's birthday. So I also thought that was perfect, because This piece is this piece is a memorial piece to Yuumei's childhood dog. And if you look up this piece on her website, she has a whole story that goes along with it. A story in which I actually printed out and I added it to my logbook because it was so beautiful. Her tribute to her dog. And when I bought this piece, I remember getting it when it came out because this is one of my favorite artists. But also, I have a very special place in my heart for my two dogs that I did grow up with one dog, and she passed away when I was just a teenager. And then after she passed away, we ended up getting these two beagles, sisters. And they were, you know that book Where the Red Fern Grows? It's a traumatic book we all had to read in like 5th grade or whatever back in the day. This was my Dan and Ann from that book, if you know what I'm talking about. Brother and sister coonhounds. Except these two were sisters. And I ended up charting them here. Originally in this piece, it's Yuumei. She has the leash, and it's like this larger golden retriever dog or something that's right here. I think it was a mixed breed dog. So part of what took me so long was the idea of recharting, and it wasn't easy. And it's my first time like actually charting in my own thing on top of something else. So I did add, the two dogs are in specials. This first dog here, so this is supposed to be Rosie, because Rosie had, I know it's upside down, but Rosie had like a Mickey on her side. Like a Mickey, it looked like a hidden Mickey on her side. Okay, so she has that, and then I actually did put her brown spots. And then this was Ruby. Her head was more like a typical beagle, so you can see she's got more brown there. But those are all fairy dust rolls that I made them out of. And this first dog, the face was very loosely based on what was already charted there, including like I had to make the legs a little shorter, the body a little longer, the tail a little shorter, and not fluffy. And I had to do this. Then I kind of went off that and did the same thing with Ruby here. So that was really challenging for me to do that because I like enhancements, but I can do like a 1-for-1 enhancement where it's like in that skeleton painting, okay, you got a 5200 drill, you can put a Pixie 5200 in there because it's what's charted anyway. But doing something like this for me is completely out of my comfort zone and took a lot of forethought. And so that was kind of like an emotional block. And then we unexpectedly ended up having to travel this summer at the end of May, yeah, like mid-May or something like that, and all this chaos and family stuff or whatever. So I really didn't get back around to this until later this fall, and I didn't have a ton of it left to do, but I basically just had this part and some of the water. And as you can see, the confetti in this is real, like especially here, there wasn't a ton of color blocking. There was always some confetti, but it just, from a distance, guys, this piece is absolutely incredible. And even up close, actually, it's really incredible. Minimal trash, minimal gapping, just a very high quality example of you get what you pay for, right? So this was Diamond Art Club's In Your Memory by Yuumei Arts. So that was a finish in September. And then I had this is my Soup Night by Jaded Gem Shop and the artist Rinlin. Now Rinlin is no longer licensed at Jaded Gem Shop. I have no idea what happened there. She released a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but there were several really cute pieces that featured, there's like a frog where it's in the rain and it's holding a little umbrella with a snail on it. It was very popular. It was even pixel charted, which is like Jade's way of putting putting like special care into how she charted the pieces. So this one, unfortunately, is also not available anymore. But this is called Soup Night. And I've got some washi tape here from Munimade. I think Cute But Weird was the artist on this washi tape. It's really cute. It's like a mushroom. But the confetti in this piece is insane. And that is what makes it look so good, right? I mean, look at those guys. However, I had to rechart the eyes. I put in Pixie 310s because they were just like a mishmash of like browns and like this red, this dark red here. They like the eyes were like red and brown, and sometimes I couldn't tell it was actually supposed to be the eye. So I had to look at the original artwork and kind of see like, you know, is that supposed to be part of the eye? Or like here on this guy, we've got, let me see if I can show you. Let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see there's like brown outlining a little bit and this tan and this yellow. So I didn't want to like completely cover all of that up with the 310. I wanted to keep some of that detailing. This eye, I might expand it a little bit up here because it kind of looks a little sideways. It doesn't look bad. And then like when I was doing this guy, I had no idea I was doing a frog. And when I was doing, where is it? Was it this guy? No, it was this thing. This guy right here. Again, when I was doing it, it was like, oh, that's a bright green to be putting there. What's there? And I had to actually go check the original artwork. So and then this is kind of funny. He's got like a rock on his head, but it was charted like these grays and these light blues. So, and you can see a lot of checkerboarding. I had to do a lot of basically forced checkerboarding. He's in shadow. So that's why he's a little darker, but like the little spots of yellow. So I don't know, like I think overall the bigger characters are turning out very cute. Like this shading looks very well done. Like you can see this brighter and then this sort of yellow, but it looks green on camera. So I don't know. So excuse me. And I didn't have to change much of our mushroom friend here, but you can see, like, I did do so I did, you know, make the eyes a little dark, and then, oh yeah, it was this one. This little froggy butt right here. I was like, what is that? Is that a rock? And then I had to go back and look, and I go, oh no, that's another frog. So I'm kind of sad because I only have one more little froggy to do, and I have his little face, and then I've got this. And there's not a whole lot of interest level up here for me because most of the interest level was down here. But at one point, because of the confetti, I did the bottom row and it was going great. And then I did the next row, which was like this. And I was great. And then I had the thought, you know, this blue up here is going to get real tiresome. So I turned the canvas and I started working on the top to get some of these blues and greens because I was getting a little bored of the beiges and the like pukey yellow mustardy colors of the yellows. I mean, it looks so good on camera, but and the bright blues in here were just such a dream to work on. So this is Soup Night by Rinlin. Sorry, not sorry. I am from the Midwest. Soup season, soup night. That is indicating it is cold. It is chilly. It is not summertime. It is not springtime. It is soup time. So you're going to be eating soup at night when it's fall and winter and maybe even early spring because it's cold. But not like, okay, we still got some leaves on the trees here. So clearly it's like not wintertime because it's a little bit green. The grass down here looks dead or dying. Like it's yellowing, it's brown. It's been fall for at least a minute in this scene, and I understand that the sky looks blue, and that's not, like if it was orange, then maybe people would be like, oh yeah, that's totally fall. This is in the background, so this is supposed to be in shade right here. Oh, there's a trail popping out. This is supposed to be in shade right here, so we don't know. Maybe they're oranges and browns and yellows. Maybe the trees are turning and you just don't know it. And it's the same thing with the foliage back here, which actually has brown in it. So to me, between like the dead, dying grass, the fact that they're eating soup, okay, means it's getting chilly, cold. It doesn't say to me spring because Soup night in the spring, yeah, maybe when it's still snowy, right? I don't live in the Midwest anymore. But I do have very strong feelings about weather, the winter weather, and why I'm not in the Midwest anymore. So to me, this just screamed, and to a lot of us too. A lot of people agreed with me. It was those few dissenting voices that I was like, that's gonna kind of steal some of the joy from this. For me, and I had been looking forward to doing this canvas. So this one will be my grand finish. I would like to finish this, hopefully, let's see, it's Thursday. So I'm hoping to get some good work on it this weekend, and I'm not going to be around tomorrow. So hopefully like this weekend and next week, I'll be able to really like push this through. We have a friend coming to visit, and I would love for this to be finished. So this is my Drills and Chills whip. I'm also planning on probably doing that other little bat plaque that I have, and I also have this, I guess I saved the bats for the end. I also have this mini canvas. I do have another mini canvas, like a ghosty, that would be fun to do. These usually take me like 2 days or something. So this might be kind of fun, again, to break up the I'm sorry, it's total confetti hell up here, okay? There is no way I would believe that this was a hybrid rendered kit. This is like this is totally, purely computer rendered. Maybe there was a little bit of hand touching up. There's just, like, this was a little bit of color blocking in him. So for that reason alone, I could maybe buy it. But if this was hand rendered, there should have been a little bit more grace given to some of these background colors, or even just the characters, you know, the characters. I mean, we've got some weird colors in this one's cheeks, but that is supposed to be, so it's a hybrid rendered kit. It's totally computer rendered kit, which is fine because I absolutely love the artwork. The artwork isn't huge. This is, do I have the size on this? 50 by 50 centimeter piece, I believe. So it's okay, because if this was any bigger, I'd probably stab my eyeball out, but I digress. Anyway, oh, and then this is just a little cover minder. I'm keeping the plastic down. This is one of the Halloween Disney pins last year. I convert my Disney pins into cover minders because I'm not a pin collector, but they make cute pins. And I put really strong magnets on them. So there we go. Okay, so anyway, that was a big, long tirade. I digress. I have a couple more whips, long-term whips, going into the month of October. This is Waterway Wanderers by Enablers Outpost and the Colorful Cat Studio. This is one of my absolute dream come true of a canvas. So I am slowly working on it. I am in no rush. This is what I've gotten so far. I submitted this artwork to Elizabeth and I begged her, please get this one rendered. That was like over a year ago, and she just released this Black Friday last year, so maybe it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was like a summer, not this past summer, but the summer before, because I came across Colorful Cat Studio on Etsy. I had no idea that she was already licensed with a diamond painting company. I asked Colorful Cat Studio if I could get this done as a custom, and she said, hey, why don't you pop it over to Enablers Outpost and ask them if they would get this one done for you as a diamond painting. And dreams can come true, folks, because Elizabeth jumped on this and she was so gracious and kind to work with. I highly recommend. This is my very first Enablers Outpost kit that I've actually worked on. I have unboxed a couple more on my channel, and I do have a couple more, a few more that I'm going to be unboxing soon, by this artist and this shop. But working on this canvas has been a dream. I did have a little weird situation with one of the background colors was like a lavender, and it was supposed to be a very light teal. Elizabeth got on that and corrected it for me right away. So I had no issues with that. And this is just, oh, it's just perfect. I love it. So anyway, very excited to keep working on that. I have two long-term whips that I'm going to talk about. And long-term meaning I started them see here. 2023, maybe? When did I start this? I started this when Mandy Manzano was still licensing her patterns on Creatively Stitching, #1, and Jaded Gem Shop was carrying all the materials and had already had that done. This is a princess panel that was never released by Diamond Art Club. If you've been around the diamond painting community for a while, you know that Mandy Manzano and Diamond Art Club collaborated on some canvases of her Disney princess panels, and then they got nicked by Disney for it because there's a licensing issue. It was getting quite popular and very noticeable. And as much as I love Disney, they are very protective of their IPs. So even though it was considered fan art, Diamond Art Club promptly took nearly all of those canvases down. They did have the Beast panel up for quite some time, which I was actually surprised. I think they just retired that one this year sometime. So the Beast, Mandy Manzano, was around for a really long time, and you might be able to find that one for a decent price on D-Stash still. This one was never released. This is, if you're a Star Wars fan, this is R2. This is my first cross-stitch conversion I've ever attempted. I don't start small, I go big or go home. This is as far as I got, because one February morning, I don't even think it was this past maybe it was this spring, I spilled iced coffee on all of my Elizabeth Ward that held the drills for this, and then I had to go through, and those are not leak-proof containers, people, okay? So there were several colors which I just had to dump because they were so messy I couldn't wash the sticky. It was like, actually, I think it was like hot coffee with just like a tablespoon of creamer in it. So anyway, I had to order like 13 of these colors as replacements, and then they came in eventually, because, you know, they take a while with Jade when she orders them and stuff. And then, so those took a while, and then eventually I put them in the organizer, which I have them in a confetti carousel from Carissa's. So that took a while, then I had to put them in, and I've just been struggling with so many other things and going through other canvases. I just have not sat down to do this, which is silly because this is so much fun. And look, it's turning out so cool. He is so cool. But yeah, I have quite a bit of that left to do. So that's long term. Even longer term than that. Oh boy, something dropped a crap ton of drills down there. Oh, oops. It was this. It was my trash drills. Oops, I've been holding my trash drills from Soup Night in here, and it is very trash prone. I don't know, I generally love the quality of Jade's drills, which, by the way, that R2, all sourced from Jade. She's got all of the, oh, I can't even unroll this one. Well, I could. This is Love at Its Darkest. You guys probably recognize the name of that one. What is this one called? Cross stitch pattern? I don't know. This is frog tape. Okay, so this is even longer term. Actually, you know what? I started this one before I started R2. And then I was doing it, and I gave my mom, I showed her the pattern, and she started like getting prepared for it as a cross stitch conversion. Or not cross stitch conversion. I'm sorry. She cross stitches for real. So she started like collecting the colors, and then never got started on this one because it is big. So I only did like the top row. But I started doing this one, and then I was like, you can see how much I have left, which is a lot. And then I started doing this one, and then she said she was going to try to do it as a cross stitch pattern, and I thought, how cool would that be if she was working on it as a cross stitch and I was working on it as a conversion. And so I paused to work on it. So this is long term. Let me just explain what is going on here. I'm paranoid about sticky stuff, right? So this is the cover sheet. I have Jade's release paper I stuck down there, and then I have it, the washi tape is stuck to the drills and half to the cover paper. And then what I've done is I took a piece of a pool noodle and I wrapped it up, okay, so that this part is also stuck to itself, so I don't have some weird plastic flap coming off, okay. And I rolled it all up. This is frog tape, otherwise known as painter's tape. Are you gonna be a dork? Okay. This is painter's tape. Okay, and I have a little tab so I can undo it. Painter's tape is special because it dropped part of it underneath here. Painter's tape is special, and this one's ruined, so I'm gonna get to put another stretch on it because it's like a stronger washi tape, but not as crazy sticky as masking tape, even though that's what it looks like. It looks like masking tape. So what I'm gonna do is put a little tab here. I'm gonna, oops, see, it doesn't even really want to stick to this part of the tube. So because this is such a long-term whip, I taped it up this way, and then I put rubber bands around parts of it, because it is a long-term whip. I'm not going to get back to working on this year, and I know I'll probably be lucky to work on it next year. I have a lot of these projects waiting in the wings. In fact, for a while there, I was trying to like save up because they're not, they're not the cheapest kits. So I'd always buy them on sale. I'd always buy them when I could. And then Mandy and Creatively Stitching stopped working together. And I just thought, oh, and this is a tube. Where did this tube come from? Munimade sells this now. I think I got this from Craftably when they were still open. I don't know. Somebody had all three colors. I think it was Craftably. Anyway, and then I take this, and because it's a long-term whip and you can telescope it out, and then I put a piece of chalk tape on here, Nightmare Before Christmas, X stitch, cross stitch, and boom, there you go. So, and this is where I put my long-term projects in, including R2. He's gonna go in this, back in this teal one that I have. No, this one's from Munimade. She actually has her branding on that one, and that's pretty cool because you can, if you buy a Munimade with this, she will actually put your canvas in here and ship it, and this will be inside the box. But yeah, and so I just have a little R2, so it kind of denotes what I'm working on. And yeah, so that's what I got going on. That's what happened in September, and that's what's continuing forward into October. For Drills and Chills is mostly my focus. But like I said, I do have some other things hanging in the wind. I really would like to get back to R2. It's kind of getting to the point where it sort of bugs me. And actually now Jade is removing those from her website, and they're kind of in the, like, what do they call that? I thought last time I checked she had all these cross stitch conversions like in the retiring soon. I'm just gonna roll this up in the like retiring soon category, and she did say that she will continue to offer them, but you will have to email her as though you were, wanting to do a custom. So I'm not sure if the prices are going to change. I know that she said that she was already offering them, like sticker sheet, drills, all that together was already sort of a discount situation, like discounted from normal. Like I did buy a canvas for the Cheshire Cat project, and it was a lot more expensive than it would have been if I bought it with the drills. I mean, if I bought it with the drills and the stickers and the canvas, it would have been the most expensive. It would have been more expensive than what I paid. But if you broke down the cost of the canvas itself, it was cheap. It would have been cheaper, like, overall. So she does discount all the items together when you do that. But so I don't know if she's still going to have that situation going on or not. So I will definitely put a link to all the websites and the places that I mentioned. If you made it through to the end of this video, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. If you want to tell me in the comments what kinds of things you worked on this month and what you're looking forward to next month, I would love to hear back from you. Again, my name is Steph, and I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys have a rest of the week that's wonderful, and everything goes well for you. Wishing good thoughts your way. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye.